Who decided, somewhere inside you, which feelings were allowed to surface and which ones had to be buried before anyone noticed? You never chose to be afraid of that question. You just learned, way too early, that asking it out loud cost you something. There's a version of you that never learned that fear, and it's sitting exactly where it was before anyone taught you to hide it. Here's what nobody tells you at the gym, in therapy, on a podcast about finding yourself. That question, who am I, didn't come from your curiosity. It came from the same place your next breath is about to come from, and you've never once traced either one back to where it starts. Try it right now, not later, now. Follow the breath backward, past the inhale, past the pause before it, to the place where it hasn't happened yet. There's a gap there. No name for it. And in that same silence, the eye that thinks it's reading this sentence goes quiet too. That's not a coincidence. That's the crack you've been stepping over since you were a kid. The one your therapist calls dissociation, and your grandfather would have called just thinking too much. The body isn't you. You suspected that the first time you watched an old photo of yourself and felt nothing familiar in the face. The mind isn't you either. You've caught it lying, changing its story about who you are depending on which room you just walked into, which app you just opened, which person you're trying to impress. So what's left? Asking the question. Something underneath the asking. Something that was there before the first thought ever showed up uninvited, and will still be there long after the last one packs up and leaves. You felt it, in the half second after you wake up, before you remember your own name, your job, your inbox, when nothing has been decided yet about who you're supposed to be today. You call that half second nothing. It isn't nothing. It's the only honest thing that's happened to you all week. And the question you keep swallowing is about to get asked properly. Not by me. By whatever's underneath you, right now, reading this. Who's in charge, inside you, of deciding which thoughts get to speak, and which ones get sent straight to the basement? You didn't build that basement. Somebody handed you the blueprint before you were old enough to say no. And there's a room in there that was never yours to lock. A man named Ramana Maharshi spent most of his life sitting almost completely still, listening to people arrive carrying the exact question you're carrying right now, except they'd been dragging it around for decades, too afraid to open it. He never gave the answer. He handed the question back. Who is it that's asking? And then he waited. Not because he didn't know, because an answer, handed to you by somebody else, never actually lands. It has to be found exactly where you're sitting right now. Phone in your hand, pretending this is just another video autoplaying in the background. Notice your body for a second. It's quieter than it was a minute ago. You didn't decide that. Something in you already recognized what's coming. And here's what nobody told you before today. Every time you swerved away from this question, at your desk, at 3 a.m., mid-conversation about something completely unrelated, it wasn't because the question was too big. It was because the answer was too simple to accept. Ramana said the ego survives exactly one way, by holding on. It doesn't fight you. It just needs you to never look back at where it came from. The second you actually look, really look, it has nowhere left to grip. You're looking right now. Feel that. How many of those doubts have you actually resolved? And how many just came back 6 months later, wearing a different name? You don't have a problem with answers. You have a problem with never asking who it is that's doubting. And that one question doesn't come back. It doesn't need a sequel. Stop trying to solve the next doubt. That's what's kept you stuck this whole time. Every answer you find just opens up space for another question to move in, like your mind needs a problem running in the background just to feel like it exists. Ramana didn't sugarcoat it. Clear one doubt, another is born. It never ends that way. The only way to end all of them at once is to find who's doing the doubting. Not the doubt, the doubter. Feel it right now, whatever doubt is running through your head this exact second. Don't try to solve it, just ask, who did this show up for? The answer comes too fast, and you already know what it is. Me. Okay, then who's that? You're going to notice something strange. The harder you look for that me, the less it seems to be located anywhere specific. It's not in your head. It's not in your chest. It behaves like it's everywhere and nowhere at the same time. The same way silence behaves right before a word gets said. Throw your worries to the wind, not because someone told you to, because if you actually look, you can't find who they belong to. And what's left, once nobody's holding the doubt anymore, is the one thing that never doubted itself. What changes in you the exact moment you stop looking for an answer and start looking for who's asking? You're not leaving this video with an answer. And that's fine. Because the answer was never the point. The point was always to stop running from the question. Look at what just happened over the last few minutes. Every time a thought tried to pull you back out, a worry, a memory, the itch to check your phone, some part of you quietly asked, who did this show up for? And the thought, every single time, backed off. Not because you beat it, because it never had anything to hold on to once someone actually looked at it. Ramana called this the one path open to everyone. No exceptions for age, background, or belief. Didn't require scripture. Didn't require a degree. Just required you to keep coming back to that same question over and over until it stopped needing words. You're going to close this video in a few seconds, and the question is going to stay open, because that's just what it does. It doesn't close. It just goes deeper every time you run into it again. There's a question I haven't asked yet, the one that comes after this one. It's sitting in the first pinned comment, waiting for anyone who wants to keep going down. It's not for everyone. It's for whoever felt their body go quiet a few minutes ago and wants to know how far that quiet actually goes. You know someone who solves the same doubt every single day, with a brand new answer every time, and has never once noticed it keeps coming back, because nobody ever asked who's doing the doubting. Send them this video. No caption, no explanation. They'll either get it on their own, or they won't, and either way is fine. Before you go, drop one line below. What's the thought that kept coming back this week, pretending to be a new problem? Stick around for the next ones if you want. Nobody's yelling here. We just sit and look at what most people spend their whole lives avoiding. And if something in this one landed somewhere quiet in you, leave a like. That's how this kind of silence finds the people still looking for it.